All right.
Hello, and
Hello.
welcome to another episode of Loaded Magickzines. I am SlimMonster, and with me, per usual, are the Finger Bangers.
That's
Slim
right.
Monster and the Finger Banger.
How's it going, everybody? How you guys doing?
We're
Pretty
a
good.
jazz band.
That's
Good, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Upright and breathe. It's been a long week. We're supposed to be playing a game today. We're supposed to be playing Destiny 2. This is actually my fault completely. I've had a lot of guests in town this week, and I haven't really been able to access my stuff in order to get Destiny downloaded in time. So I'm about 80% while these two guys are hanging out together in Destiny 2 world. So that's cool. Whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's my life.
Good shooting. Yeah, Josh and I are we're on the fire team together. Just
It looks like you guys are having a lot of
racking up
fun.
bodies.
Yeah. All right.
We're on the Finger Banger team.
Finger banging them aliens.
Well, that's all right. We appreciate you guys joining in today. Today's topic is the aluminum hat roundtable, which is basically us talking about our favorite conspiracies. So we're glad you guys can join. If you guys are not already following and liking and subscribing, I would really recommend that you do. We'd really appreciate it. What else? My YouTube, if you could go check that out, you can search Loaded Magickzines, Magickzines, has a K in there. That'd be awesome. SlimMonster the Witch is the thing you can search for. Please like and subscribe us there. Yeah. So as we're getting into the show today, how was everyone's week? Did you guys read anything? Do anything cool? Played something fun? Do anything like that?
Week's
We're
been
playing
good,
something
dude.
fun right now.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, everything's been good. I've just been playing some old classics. Other than that, just been working.
Yeah, you said you were playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, right?
Yeah. I beat the first one like a month ago, and I'm like, I have to play the second one.
Yeah, that's a given. That is a given. Well, I think this week I read. Let me see. I started reading this comic series called Moonshine, and it's like I've been really enjoying it. It's about like this old 1940s, 1930s, like when Prohibition happened. It's this like gangster who's trying to get these like hillbillies hooch to like sell it into the city, but the hillbillies are all werewolves. And like they're dumb as heck. Yeah, and they get him infected, and then he falls in love with this like voodoo lady, and it's pretty crazy. It's really enjoyable. It's like it keeps me it's brutal, and I love it. So I'm reading volume 3 of that, and I'm loving it. So
what studio produces it?
I believe it's Boom Comics. I think that's the same people that do Power Rangers.
Good stuff.
Yeah, they do Power Rangers. Love Power Rangers. So
Nice.
yeah, have you read any?
We're going this way, Josh.
Have you read any One Piece lately?
Every week.
Yeah.
Well, it's been on break. It's been on break for the last week. But the next chapter comes out on Friday.
Cool. Well, what?
So pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
How many chapters is it again? It's like in the thousands.
It's at 1032 this week.
Wow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Man.
Do you like where the story arc has taken a turn?
Dude, hell yeah. It's every week. It's just like I'm on the edge of my seat while I read it.
That's good.
Yeah, there's so much lore and world building that it's just like it's easy to just be lost in it pretty much.
That's cool. That is good. Yeah, they're all hella invested.
Yeah,
they're all hella invested in it right now. I wish I had my stuff already. We could have just jumped into it. But it's cool. It's my fault.
I'm trying to listen to the conversation and not be like super antisocial, but I'm pretty swept up by this game right now. Josh,
Whatever. Whatever.
Can you double jump?
I can't. Oh, well, a little bit, yeah. Oh, like, yeah, I can.
And you
glide.
levitate. Do you float? That's way
Ooh.
cool.
I actually was thinking maybe we could switch the game to play some Dance Dance Revolution.
Nah. Hard pass.
You guys don't want to do that?
There's an asshole on top of this roof.
Yeah, I see him.
Damn, how long are you guys gonna play?
You want to dip out, Josh, so we can focus on the show?
I suppose. I suppose.
You want to put it on pause at least? Just pause.
I don't think we can pause. We can go hide somewhere.
That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not putting pause on that thing.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Oh, we're being flanked.
Conflict.
Watch your language.
What did I say? I don't remember.
You said the F word.
I think we can hide in this hut.
Is there a way into it?
Yeah, I'm already inside.
Oh, I see it.
All right. Well, anyways, I guess let's just jump right into the show.
We're gonna try and find a place to hide, Colton.
Whatever.
We're gonna hide in this hut. All right, cool. All right, I'm in.
All right.
Hi.
Rob, how was your week? What did you do? Did you do anything entertaining?
You know, like just did a little bit of tattooing. You know, crafting a knife. Got some new tools to make the metalworking process a little easier. Going to be jumping into some wire feed welding, and I got a buddy that's going to be coming over some point and bringing his oxyacetylene over and showing me how to do a little bit of that too. So been focusing a lot on that lately.
What's the oxy? What's that?
Oxyacetylene. So it's oxygen and acetylene mixture. So acetylene is a gas as well, and it allows you to get like a super hot flame off your torch, so that you can weld. And so like the difference between like torch brazing and welding is like with torch brazing, it's a lot like a soldering at a much higher temperature. And with welding, you're actually taking your rod and you're fusing it with the other metals. So you're actually creating one piece of metal where you're actually binding them two pieces together. You're actually making one piece. So it fuses it together. So the acetylene gas it gets hot enough with that oxygen to be able to do that.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty cool stuff. I always enjoyed oxyacetylene when I was doing it for my first trade certificate thing that I did. It was like you had to learn everything in construction, and oxyacetylene was always kind of a cool thing to mess with. Yeah,
it's super cool. Yeah, I decided to start off with like a wire feed. It's a MIG setup, but I'm not using like a shield gas for it. Just because like I didn't want the acetylene, I didn't want that tank in my garage. It's
totally.
Super volatile stuff.
Yeah. Totally.
I wasn't ready to go down that route just yet. So
yeah, I can't say I blame him.
I want to get into bigger projects. Like I want to start making like furniture. Just bigger stuff.
Do you want to do like metal furniture, or are you gonna try to do woodwork furniture?
Metalwork mostly. I do woodworking. I'm actually gonna start playing around with that again. But like take an armrest for instance, being able to like weld something like that together would be really fun. So just bigger stuff.
Yeah. Some patio chairs would be cool. Some
really
cool
whatever's clever,
Yeah.
So
do you plan on maybe doing some sort of like metal sculpture, or like trying to do something
like
that? Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Just trying to be as organic with it as possible, not get ahead of myself, but we've been hanging out with our neighbors too. And it's pretty cool. Like just with COVID, like we haven't really like talked a lot with each other. And then we started hanging out the last couple of weekends, and he turns out to be like this big gamer, and he like hosted his own Dungeons and Dragons like games with his friends.
That's cool.
And we're just like, what the hell, man? Like, we're both big nerds, you know, and like we haven't even been talking to each other, you know. So,
yeah.
And their daughters are like around the same age as our daughter, and so it's pretty cool. Like they all got to hang out and play, and so it's been neat.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
that is cool. You'll have to start a campaign soon.
Yeah, he's gonna help me game test that tabletop game I was talking to you guys about the last couple episodes that I was working on. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah. Maybe in the future we'll set up like a season of us playing D&D and stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? It might be a little fun or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you won't have to download it for 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this one's going to be a lot of fun, Colton. Like once you get yours downloaded and you get into the fire team, like this game is really slick. Yeah. I played Destiny 1, you know, and I hear a lot of flack from a lot of players, you know, about Destiny 2 and you know how, you know, Bungie, they monetize everything and whatnot, but I don't see that as being any different from Apex Legends or Fortnite, you know, like they're not forcing you to buy stuff, you know, like you can spend your money however you want. So
Josh said he heard a friend that said you might actually need to buy stuff.
Really?
Like, well, once you get farther in the game, it's kind of like blocked by a paywall.
Oh, I see.
So like you got to get to a certain point, and then you pretty much have to spend money to get like the DLC for it.
Well, that kind of makes sense because you're buying the game. You know, like you're buying parts of the game as you go. Like you would spend money on a DLC anyways. Oh shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that guy run in here?
Yeah, he dipped out.
Yeah, he did. All right.
He went to go tell his friends.
I'm gonna hide where I was.
Like, oh yeah, I seen 2 of them. They're just there smoking a cigarette, chilling.
What about you, Colton? What have you been up to?
As I said, just kind of reading a little bit, but like I've just really just been so busy this week. I've worked 2 jobs and we've had these guests come in and I've just put a lot of stress on myself for no reason really. But
who are the guests?
Yeah, who are they?
They're like my mom's friend from like the 70s or the 80s or something like that, and like her kids are just up here staying with us right now. We went and stayed with them, so it's like kind of we're just returning the favor for them. They're awesome. They're nice people though.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
You said you're like sleeping on a cot?
Yeah, I let them basically have my basement down here, and then I'm kind of forced to sleep in this little nook
closet.
Yeah, essentially it's kind of like a little closet. It's not a very big room. It's like maybe
Is it like a Harry Potter closet? Are you sleeping in the stairs?
No, not like that. No,
they literally put you out.
Do they lock the door when you go into the room? They like lock you in there?
No, they lock their doors. No. It's like my mom's crafting room is where I'm staying right now. Yeah, I don't normally. I just want to let the viewers know I don't normally live at my mom's house. I'm trying to transition to moving to Florida, so don't count me as that nerd that lives in that 30-year-old that lives in his mom's house basement, especially. But
you know,
in the boiler room.
It's whatever, dude. Like like the U.S. like really has a hang up about that culturally. Like just from living in other countries, like growing up in other countries myself. True. Like this country really has hang-ups about that kind of thing. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Look at Mexico, like for instance, like it's very normal to have 3-4 generations of people all living under the same roof.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is.
It is what it is. You know, so at least you got a roof over your head.
That is very true. I mean? Yeah, and honestly, my mom always cooks for me, and she's like barely ever here. She's all retired and living her best life, so it's kind of just like I get the house to myself, really. So.
Yeah, I mean, being homeless sucks, dude. Like, when I was younger, you know, like I made dumb decisions and I partied a lot and whatnot, and I lived out of my car, you know, for like a year and slept on people's couches and whatnot. That sucks, dude.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Dang it! There I go.
That's all right. I'm gonna.
Sorry,
That's all right. It gives me something to edit.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah, that's all All right. Well, let's get into it. Since you weren't here last time, Josh, I'm gonna just go ahead and force you to do it. So you better. Did you come with? You better come some. You better. You got some, right?
I like
Yeah.
the character's hoodie and his face mask. Josh,
doesn't he look
pretty
cool?
Suave.
Yeah.
I'm at 82%.
Too bad Colton can't see any of this, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It's been an hour and 42 minutes for an hour and 42 minutes, so we'll see.
You said an hour and 42 minutes 5 hours ago.
I know.
Dude, I literally had to download mine. Like, it took 10 hours. Like,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
it literally took 10 hours.
Your country ass has no internet though.
I feel like I'm fortunate.
I mean, me and Rob are playing together.
Because this one, it took me 2 hours to download onto my laptop.
Damn.
That's badass.
Yeah.
These laptops, they're not that expensive, especially like for Black Friday. I got this one for like I think I paid like maybe $600 for it, and it plays great. Bad.
Yeah, it isn't bad.
No. And it's like it's totally geared up for gaming. Like that's all I ever use it for.
That's cool. Josh, what you got, bud?
Photoshop too.
Okay. So conspiracy theory time. So there's a conspiracy going around. I'm sure it's been out for a little while, but so the Disney movie Frozen was created to distract people from searching for Walt Disney's, like, because it said that he froze himself on like. So basically, like, it buries, like, on the search results for Google.
Interesting.
It buries the fact that, like, people think that he froze himself, and they're basically trying to misdirect people or like direct them away from like searching for that.
Right.
So they created Frozen, because now when you say Disney's Frozen,
right,
the movie comes up. Pages on pages on pages.
I've actually just recently heard that. Yeah.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, like, that rumor's been going around for a while that he cryogenically froze himself.
Yeah, I've heard that one for a long time.
And it was this huge conspiracy, but, like, so they created this movie. I'm sure, like, it wasn't just, like, they could have named it the Ice Princess, they could have named it, something else, because, like, that's what Ice, Iceland, so whatever, but they named it Disney's Frozen.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
That's pretty cool, man. I dig that. Because Disney froze himself, man. Like, that fool's gonna be, like, thawed out in like 100 years, like.
Yeah. Well, they said that he just froze his head, so basically, like, he can get another body reattached or whatever whenever that's possible. Like, unfreeze his head and attach a body to it.
You just assumed that would happen in the future, like that would be like no big deal. Like, it'll be possible.
So. I mean, but he was playing the long game, Like,
yeah. I mean, he's already dead. What's he got to lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, what if you could do that? What if you could? And I'm sure they'll be able to, where they can transplant someone's head onto a body. But what if you were woken up from cryostasis? Would you have memory of your life, of your previous life?
I would imagine you would, because all of it's pretty much held in your brain for the most part, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me think of Arthur C. Clarke's 3001. So the movie 2001, right? And then
Space
Odyssey.
Stanley Kubrick, right?
Yeah, he directed it. Yeah, exactly. That's all Arthur C. Clarke. He wrote all that. And then there is a sequel, 2010. And then there was a third story, 3001. And they talked about a character in that. It opens up where the character has been, I can't remember which character it was. It's been a long time, but it's one of the astronauts that got launched out in the original movie. And so he's basically being brought out of cryostasis after like 1,000 years or something. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And, like, yeah, and they're like, oh my God, like, he's so deformed, and they're talking about his penis, you know, and they're like, what barbarians would do this to someone, you know, like talking about circumcision and whatnot. He's all like, you know, disoriented, and he's like, where am I? Like, why does the gravity feel so weird? And it turns out he's in a space station, you know, and it's just, it's kind of interesting, like it being told from the perspective of someone who woke up from a millennium of being asleep, you know, because, you know, his body was preserved in space, and then they were able to retrieve it and then put him on ice.
That's crazy.
You know,
that's so crazy.
That's kind of interesting, you know, thinking of that like in the context of like Walt Disney, you know, like
well, maybe he just thinks that like he will be able to attach his head to like a robot or a cybernetic body or something that'll like work for him. That'd be so crazy.
Do you
imagine?
Do you actually do you think he had a purpose for it? Like, what do you think his reasoning behind that, if that is an actual thing, what would be?
It's been said that like he never wanted to die. Like he wanted to just stay alive forever. You know, and that'd be his. Like he's a freaking quadrillion billionaire, like with all the Disney movies and all the money that Disney has. Like, dude, they own everything. They own Star Wars and Marvel. Like, can you imagine him waking up and just like assuming his wealth,
his throne,
his role,
his throne?
Yeah,
you know,
because if his head's on ice, he's still making all this money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's not really dead.
Yeah,
technically, or at least if he comes back to life, he never really was dead.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. That'd be a weird precedent, though, to start. You know, people are like, I don't want to die. I think I just want to live forever. Literally, if you have the money to do it.
That's a good point.
I think, I don't know. I think there's something nice about a shorter lifespan.
Yeah, we all live to die, essentially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Why are we all dying to live when we just live to die?
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought. You know, it's like if you could live to be even 500 years old, is the human brain even capable of comprehending that? Is it capable of processing all that? You know?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to figure like your earlier life, like when your adolescence would be just like gone to the ether, you know, because you can't really, you know, could you really hold 500 years of memories and details about things?
Yeah.
Right.
Deterioration.
Yeah. And if you could live to be 500 years old, how much of that would be like dementia? You know,
and if you were frozen, let's say like 100 years or so, like that ultimate culture shock, like imagining how completely different everything is, that would probably make somebody go insane. Like if he saw Avatar, it would freak him out, because he's like, are these things actually existing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it might mess him up mentally.
Well, what I heard was too, like Disney is like super into preserving their image. So their family, you know, I guess image, because like they would even way back in the day, they would edit cigarettes out of his hand in pictures. There's like pictures where like he's like holding a cigarette, but you know, with his two fingers, and it just is not in the picture. And like it's ridiculous.
He's a finger banger.
yeah he might. Maybe that's the conspiracy. So he was part of the finger banging crew, like without even knowing it.
That's why he's so successful.
World famous finger banger.
Yeah, Walt Disney.
Oh, that's funny, dude.
Yeah. The first finger banger.
Didn't he own like some sort of porn, like some sort of subsidiary? Was like Showtime or like Showmax or something like that?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I heard that he funded, or he was like supportive of like the Nazis and shit too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I don't know how much of that's true, but there's a lot of like occult imaging or imagery in like his earlier stuff too, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one, man. That one's always been stuck, and I have heard of that one recently, but it is one that deserves a good shed of light. And it's like, you know, I think the more people talk about it, it's like the less that they can actually keep that hidden. Do you know what I mean? Like the more they try to cover it up, the more we figure it out, you know?
Yeah. So, so Colton, you didn't think I came with anything today, huh? You thought I was slacking.
It was all right, man. It was good.
That was a good one. I liked it.
It was good. Yeah. And it's definitely one for the modern times, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, especially when you consider concepts like Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. You know, and she's all cybernetic body, but she has human tissue for her brain. You know? And so it's like I'm sure we're not really far off from that, you know.
No,
keep pushing.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah, dude, that's such a trip to think about. Especially, I've been doing a little bit more research on the whole metaverse thing, too, and that seems like I watched his presentation. It was like 40 minutes long, and all the ideas seem really cool. I just wish it was someone else coming up
totally
with it.
It's like Emperor Palpatine coming up with metaverse. You know, you're like, man, like I wish it was Lando, but it's not.
Do it. Subscribe.
He's like executive order.
Execute order 66.
Yeah. Well, as we're going into kind of modern conspiracies, I think maybe I'll just go ahead and jump into mine. We're talking about most recent stuff and recent things that have come to light. I was going to do one that was called the Gateway Report because that is a report that had surfaced recently, but I decided to do something else because the conspiracy that is the Gateway Report is very I mean, it's I'm just lazy and I'm going to just do this one. It's like, it talks about like astral projection through CIA reports and yada yada. But I was like, I'm gonna do this other one because this one's easier. So for the recent events that have happened in Houston,
always taking the easy path.
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. I can't even worry about it.
Low-hanging fruit.
Nah, it's still good. It's still good content, and I feel like
they said the dark side. They said the dark side was easier, Colton.
Yeah, it is. It's warm there. But
it's warm on the end of my lightsaber.
Whatever. But I'm gonna go to Houston for the recent Astroworld events that happened in Travis Scott's like little show. You guys, I'm sure, have probably heard that, like, kind of what has happened. I don't know if you guys have heard any of the conspiracy theories that have started to emerge from the set.
That he was like sacrificing his fans to the devil or something.
Yeah. Okay. So this blows my mind.
I haven't heard that one.
Okay. This blows my mind because like Satanic Panic, that was like the late 80s, early 90s. That's when that happened. And it's like all of a sudden we're back there again with this. And that drives me crazy because it's like we are just putting all these like Satanism and other things in a box here, and we're saying that's that and that's happening, and that drives me crazy. But let's go ahead and get into what is happening. So a lot of the theories came from TikToks, and since pretty much the videos have all been blocked and labeled as misinformation, because it is complete misinformation. Like if there was a way to summon Satan and like get ultimate power, do you think I wouldn't have tried that by now? Like I would have done it already. So there's it's not as maniacal as that. You know what I mean? There's no way that it's anyways. So basically,
okay, but I got a question.
What?
If you had to sacrifice like 50 people to summon them, would you?
No, there's other ways to get power without blood. I mean, my blood.
You said you had to summon them, but I'm saying like if you had to summon, if that's the only way you can summon Satan.
I just
Would
am not
you?
I'm not a killer. I just can't do it.
No, yeah, I didn't think so.
I would cut my arm off if I could do that in exchange or something. Like,
Yeah, because like if you can freeze your head, you can cut your arm off and get like a prosthetic, like friggin' thing that's run off your mind.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
exactly where I was gonna go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a real finger banging arm.
Yeah, there you go, dude. The finger banger 3000.
Dude, finger bang in the future.
You have 10 fingers on one hand.
Damn, dude.
Just one fist on one finger.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah, well, jump back to the sad conspiracy, not the finger banger conspiracy. So
that's next week.
Yeah, there were 8 attendants who died. No, I'm sorry, that's not. But there were 8 attendees who died. So that's not good. But
I thought it was 10.
No, there was 8, but there were like 100 people that were left injured, and like the whole thing really confuses me. Just because it's like, how did this all happen? There was talks that the fences were barricaded, and like that, like I see videos, but then I've heard other people say that was from another show or something like that, and blah 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 blah. But 50,000 people started to converge together, and it caused mass panic. Other people are saying that one of the satanic panic like rumors is that the whole audience was under a spell or a trance, but really, like, when one person starts having a panic attack in the middle of a congested field where everybody's bubble is being pushed on, when one panic attack happens, another panic attack is going to happen. And that's what I really think it was mass panic, and I think that's what happened. But apparently there are reports that like bodyguards and other people were shot with an injection, like somebody injected them. And that's
like on the back of their neck or something.
And I mean that I do believe a little bit more, because that our government has done that twice before. They did it with cocaine in black neighborhoods and black communities, causing the cocaine crack epidemic, and they did it with AIDS in gay communities. There's like rumors and reports about it that have trailed back since like maybe the late 60s. And it's so I believe that could have been something that was there. I could have believed maybe, I don't know, but I don't know what's going on. But I just, the satanic panic stuff that's going on is a little far-fetched, especially like when it seems like Travis Scott is trying to help out with the community and doing stuff. But man, that dude is going to get sued. But
yeah, I was already reading about the lawsuit.
Oh, he's going to get sued. That's not a very fun thing.
I kind of feel like that video that he posted afterwards was like pretty half-assed and like not very sincere.
Yeah, he didn't actually, I don't think, ever said sorry, but that's probably because his lawyers were like, don't say sorry that it means. But
did you hear that his family was like really close with the police chief of Houston? And
interesting.
Like I don't know where the investigation is right now, but HPD was like, no, we got this. Like we got everything covered, because HPD was on site too. You know what I mean? And the local FBI office like offered to help, and they're just like, nope, like we got it all under control.
Interesting.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I was listening, I kind of read a lot of reports, but I heard this kind of a report from this gentleman named Isaac Washup. He's an idiot, and he said that he's picking at start, like he's just making up scenarios here, but basically, I'm paraphrasing, but this is from his conspiracy podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but he's basically saying the layout of the astral world tells you that you are entering a new realm. Here's your rapper god, and he's going to, and we are going to make a sacrifice to the gods. And they base this because the entrance to the mouth, the entrance to the park had, you went through his mouth, which is representative of like going into limbo or another gates of hell. And then they said his stage was resemblance of gates of hell. Like, how do they know exactly what that like looks like? You know what I mean? And they're like, no, that is the exact gates of hell, dude. Trust me. Like, but.
Well,
it's just dumbass and baseless accusations, really.
It's like people need that to exist.
Yeah.
You know, like they need for it to be a satanic ritual. They need there to be they have to have it be true that people were actually sacrificed. You know, it wasn't just chance, like there was actual malevolence, involved in all this. And I'm with you, Colton. It's like, when you look at psychological studies of like hysteria and hysterical events, take panic on a plane, for instance, there are actual numbers, there are actual percentages and statistics that break down the probability that X number of people are going to freak out. And because of that, X number of people or Y number of people are going to freak out from that. Yep. And then Z number of people are going to freak out from that. There's actual been studied algorithmic mathematics and how people react to hysteria. It's herd mentality. Like, it's literally herd mentality. And yeah, I mean, anything's possible. Someone could have, okay, it's like we talked about last season, how you have like the 10 dimensions of reality. I'm going to go back on that, and how if the 10th dimension, all things that have ever been, ever were, both real and imagined. Everything is realized in every single universe. And yeah, somewhere out there over the rainbow, maybe, I'm sure there was a sacrifice.
Right.
But in this instance, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's like people need that stuff to exist because it puts a little bit of sparkle in this otherwise mundane existence that they just can't seem to make heads or tails out of why we're even here, And they needed to give purpose to that, That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially because it's like it's always been like, oh, this is the devil's doing, when actually in reality the people that are branding it the devil's doing, it's usually like heavy Christian people saying it's the devil, but like Christianity has been at the forefront of conspiracies and almost like thousands of bodies, you know what I mean? Like through tons of religious wars and tons of like darker conspiracies. And I think like really like it just bugs me when they don't own up and say this is an accident. They just want to say it's the devil's. I don't know. It's damning a culture that is just not fair.
I absolutely agree with you, Colton. Like, and people will cry heresy and blasphemy and all this other garbage. Like people that really prescribe to this religious mindset or what have you. I don't want to,
right.
I don't want to judge people, even though they're down to judge me.
Right.
But the way I see it is like when you talk about all that bloodshed and war and oppression and suffering, it kind of like, it's like the old saying goes, it takes one to know one. It's like, what God are you really worshiping?
Totally.
What God are you really throwing down with?
Totally.
Is it really this God of compassion and love that you're talking about? Or are you throwing down with like some kind of demonic force and you're just not aware of it?
Yeah.
Because it's like in the movie The Devil's Advocate, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, might want to look in the mirror there, ye who calls everything Satanism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Self-examine yourself.
Yeah. It's just kind of a whole scary world, and I didn't expect to see that pop up again. And like I didn't really I was kind of born at the ending of Satanic Panic, but like when I hear stories of like what fueled that, I really enjoy listening to that period. And so it just blew me away that we would come back to this, because it's like witch hunts. That's like such a dumb thing. And it's just, I don't know, this story's been mind-boggling to me since I've heard it. It still doesn't make sense to me. It does seem very fishy, but it doesn't, I don't know.
I think it absolutely, and not to contradict you, Colton, but I think it absolutely, fits squarely with how humans have always been. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Like, we're going to have another Satanic Panic, and we're going to have one in 20 years from now.
History repeats
20 years
itself.
from then.
Yep.
And yeah, it might be called something different, but, it's like people get wound up over dumb things, and they try to explain a world that they don't understand. That's really what all this boils down to, is nobody has any effing idea what's going on.
Yeah.
At all. Period. The pandemic, politics, everything. Like, no one has a damn clue what is going on.
Not one
bit. The CERN particle collider, and people going up in arms like, oh, you could start a black hole, and I read a conspiracy theory that someone was just like, hey, they're really trying to wake up the god of the dead Osiris, and it's like, really? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you should be more worried about the black hole thing. But even then, it's like the physicists doing that, they're like, no, it's probably not going to happen. JK, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody has a damn idea what's going on any of the time.
That is very true.
Yeah. Other than like eating, pooping, and sleeping and finger banging. That's what people are good at. That's what we really know.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we should call our clan the Finger Bangers.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is perfect.
Yep. Yep. But
because it's like you get back on like that whole, like when I read the Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and like I was watching videos that different philosophy professors were giving seminars on it, and this whole concept of like projection, and the projection, like the anger, the hate, this whole frenzy, like this satanic panic, like none of that's real.
Yeah.
None of it's real.
Yeah, that's true. And there's always some sort of projection that people do place onto the world, And it's like you could choose to look at it that way, or you could choose to look at, like, instead of seeing all the evil, like, why not check out all the good? Yeah, it's like that inward inflection, You're absolutely right. Yep.
Absolutely, dude.
Yep.
Absolutely.
No.
But, outside of there being needless deaths, that did happen, why it went the way it did.
Yeah.
That there was a crush of people, and that's a crappy way to go.
Yeah.
Getting the air squeezed out of you like that. Like outside of that, it makes an interesting story.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do just want to let everybody know listening to, we do like solemnly send our hearts out to that whole event that happened.
I don't.
He's lying. We joke.
Wrong place, wrong time.
I made a joke earlier and I felt really bad about it too, so we're there. But let's keep diving into the craziness. I know Rob is going to talk about one of probably not just a famous to us, but actually nationwide famous conspiracy that
probably worldwide. Honestly, I've
worldwide.
heard people in the UK talking about it.
Yeah.
Hey, off topic, Josh.
Yes.
My character, it said it went back to orbit because I was inactive. So I'm just
you're definitly gone.
I'm just gonna let it hang. I'm not really gonna do anything.
Okay.
We can get back on after the show if you want or whatever. But anyways, okay. So my topic is a lot of people say kind of a couple different things. I think the governor of Minnesota said something about it in the early 2000s or whatever. But anyways, it's about Denver International Airport and how it is supposedly basically outside of money, the root and the place of all evil. And the governor, I hope I'm not misquoting this article, but I'm pretty sure it was the governor of Minnesota back in the early 2000s, even went on record to say that he believes that the airport sits on top of a massive superstructure of tunnels and bunkers in preparation for the end of the world or the apocalypse, where the New World Order, where they can restart and rebuild. And so when you look at this and you look at the physical things that are actually around DIA, such as the Blue Horse, Lucifer, we all know that one. Josh just lives in Colorado too. We've all seen Lucifer with its red eyes, and my daughter just trips out when she sees that. And even like the first time I saw like this horse, I'm just like, what the hell, dude? Like it's like Pale Rider's horse, like, geez. And supposedly the horse, when it was constructed, fell onto the sculptor that made it. I can't remember his name.
He made the Blue Bear downtown too. He made the same thing.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Okay. And so it fell on him and it killed him by like severing an artery, so damn,
that's so crazy.
little bit of jinx right there. And then when you look at a satellite image or just in a top-down view of the am I still there? Yeah, cool. I gotta plug this in. I'm running out of juice. But when you look at a top-down like aerial view of the airport, the way the runways are built, it looks like a swastika. And then you have other things like I've never actually seen it, but they say there's a statue of Anubis somewhere in the airport. And then like there's like all this like intelligible scripts written all over the place, and there's like murals like that kind of depict like a new world order and whatnot. It's just bizarre, you know, like why you would put those things into an airport like that, you know. And then like, you know, you take the train and then you get out, and we're always flying out of Terminal C, but it feels like you stepped into like ancient Mesoamerica, you know, like the Mayans built all this stuff, you know, like what's going on?
What's crazy?
Here, you know?
What's crazy is Denver had like a perfectly good airport before they tore it down and made DIA, or like made DIA and then shut that one down, which is crazy.
I've heard too that DIA specifically, like that region, I don't know if it has to do with the airport, but since we're talking conspiracies, maybe it does, actually is part of a weather vortex. And there's a high propensity of tornadoes that will form to the east of the airport.
I do believe that.
That's crazy.
And it's like, I think about it where it's like the Front Range is known for having really erratic weather. Like even Fort Collins, you know, like we're known, we have like what 15 or 20 different micro weather, you know, little regions here because the topography is so all over the place. Yeah, but totally. Like when you throw it in conjunction with like this new world order, weird secret technology, white supremacist evil thing, like, and it's a tornado generator out to the east of the airport. It's like, like that's a little weird, you know? Yeah,
it is.
So it's too many things to be coincidence, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And so I mean, it could all be BS, you know, like again, it could be one of those things where people just need for it to exist to, you know, give a little bit more meaning to otherwise a boring life. But at the same time, it's like, what if, you know, what if?
Yeah. Oh, what if we're just getting trolled?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. They're just like, man, I wonder how many people are gonna believe this crap.
Well, the last time I flew when I went to go see Josh, they're doing construction, and all the banners they have like blocking the construction like antagonizes the conspiracy theory. Like there's one that's like, we're working for faster service, or we could still be building on our underground city. And it's like, we're working on getting new vendors in, or we could be hiring reptilians. Like it's kind of crazy that they like feed into it, and it makes you wonder more, you know, like it's like, oh yeah.
When's the last time you went through there?
It was like, I think I came and saw you within this 2021 year, didn't I, Josh?
It was like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, so it was within the year.
We flew out. The last time we went through was in July, and I definitely got that vibe where it's like they have all those neatly put up walls, and it almost looks semi-permanent, but you know things are being built, and it's like people disappear into little doors and things like this. It's like, what's going on back there? You know, like, what are you doing?
It's definitely.
And you know what's crazy though is like, I think that if that airport was completely empty and if you were left to your own devices to go like walk around, I don't think you'd even be able to find like trap doors and shit like that to get to. Because I do believe those tunnels and that network of like caverns and shit like that exist underneath it, but like I bet you there's very secret ways to get to it, you know. Well, like the average person probably wouldn't even know.
There's like a whole subway tram system in the bottom of it that leads you from one gate to another gate. That's probably just the tip of it. As you're driving by under those tunnels, you always see doors and little access ways, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, like, and I heard a while back, like a couple of years ago, that even like some government organizations and agencies and whatnot were moving more of their field offices to Denver, you know, in light of, you know, climate change and rising sea levels and whatnot, you know. And So it's like you kind of think about it. It's like, well, yeah, the Mile High City is kind of a perfect place to build things like that. I mean, hell, they had Cheyenne Mountain for where NORAD was forever, and I don't even know if NORAD's still there because, you know, you're like, I don't even remember how long ago it was, maybe 15 years, maybe even 10 years ago, they were talking about moving all their operations. And then it's like, you didn't hear anything about it after that. And my uncle was stationed at NORAD when I was a kid. He was in the Air Force, and like we got a tour like of what they let you see. You know what I mean?
Because it's still super hidden up there. Like I do think, I think I've heard that it's still a base, but like what goes on up there is pretty hush hush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's just what we know. That these people built a city in the damn mountain. You know, like anything's possible.
Yeah.
You know, this if this government has shown me anything, is they're going to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? U.S. government just does not give any F's. It's just going to do whatever the hell it wants.
No, that's
period.
True. Yeah. They just.
So I think it's completely plausible that there's a secret city underneath DIA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether or not it's New World Order shit, I mean, whatever.
Also,
that's heads or tails.
Also, just because of like how Colorado's always kind of been a powerhouse state, I'll give you a couple examples of how Colorado has already shifted a lot of political culture as well as the world culture. Well, one is marijuana becoming legal in our state. We also did it way different than Washington did, to the point where, you know, we've kind of changed the world there. We are also a powerhouse state because when we had the caucus, I think it was one of the first legislative caucus when we went in to vote, they're usually like, oh, you have to go on this day and you have to vote on this time. And in Colorado, we're like, nah, we don't want to do that anymore. And that was kind of a whole like political shakeup that Colorado stirred. So I think that this is totally an essential hub for everything because, well, the topography here, but also because it's as a state already, we've been able to shake it to hit even across the world. So I don't know.
You know, it would be interesting. You're talking a couple episodes about ley lines and energy lines that, you know, we all know about those. And, you know, you're talking about that geomantic reading and it was based on your life or whatever. But there's been always the talk about the ley lines that run through Washington, D.C., for instance. And you can see it on Google Maps, like in context to where the White House sits, like where this place sits, where that place sits. It's like this. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's a perfect pentagram, you know, and like every point is accounted for. And at one of the points, there's an Apple store at one of the points of this freaking pentagram. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just like, okay, like that's interesting. So it'd be like a kind of a neat thing to see like what ley lines go through Colorado and more specifically where DIA is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You got to drive way out of your way to get to it. Yeah. Like there's a reason why they put it out there, you know?
I should probably check that out. We should dig into that and see if there are any specific ley lines or any specific design that occurs from them.
So sidebar real quick. Hey, have you looked at the store, Rob? Items that are on the store.
The store? Not yet. No.
Yeah, dude, I can see myself spending a lot of money on this game.
I'm almost there. No. Hey, okay, real quick, I appreciate everybody's conversation. We're getting closer to about ending the show here. I do just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Next episode, I swear we're gonna play a game. They're already playing it, so it's just my turn. I don't know, yeah. Rob, did you get a capture card quite yet or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how to go about, like, I wasn't sure. We didn't know what game we were going to do, so I just didn't commit to it. But now that we've got the game, I found some capture cards online that I'm going to look up.
Cool. So that's
there's cool vehicles and shit that you can buy. They look like pod racers. It's so cool.
Anyways,
swords.
Look forward to seeing Rob's channel, and we'll give you more update when that comes. However, I want to give you a little glimpse over here. You guys can catch us out on Instagram. My Instagram is Colt_of_Colt. You can catch me on Facebook at Colt and Cass Makes Art or Loaded Magickzines. And then YouTube and Twitch is SlimMonster the Witch. That rhymed. And then go ahead, guys.
All right, mine is the Foco Shinobi on Instagram, and that's the only social media that I have, and I don't really keep up with it all that much, so I should probably get back into it ASAP.
Yeah.
Rob Carter. My website is astralworkshop.com. My Instagram is @astralworkshop. I'm not posting as much to my stories now on Instagram. I'm looking at ways to I'm trying to compile all this new material for videos and pics for my website. That's where I would really like to have the hub of my my outreach. I'm just trying to distance myself a little bit from the whole meta thing. You know, it's an interesting deal. So yeah. Anyways, that's my two things.
Cool. Before we go real quick, I do just want to ask both you guys a question, because I had this idea and I don't know if I asked Laura. Okay, so let's say we're at this point where like space travel is like legit, and that now they're basically people are asking, the government is asking if like half of you want to live in space or if you want to stay on Earth, you know, to help with population control. Let me say, what one would you pick? Would you choose to go to space or would you stay on Earth?
I'd stay on Earth.
You stay on Earth?
Earth.
Yeah?
Earth.
Yeah. You wouldn't even want to explore space and be on space with them?
No, I think I'd be okay. Like, I think humans having such a short lifespan, like if I was born in space, like, I don't know, if I was born in space, I'd probably want to come to Earth because like it's, you know, the place of our origin.
Yeah.
But like, I think since I'm here, and then especially if half the people go to space, dude, there's more women here for me. So yeah.
It really depends. It really depends, Colton. Like, if you're talking about moving to a planet like Caladan, you know, from the Dune universe, yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll move to Caladan. You know, that might be pretty dope. But it's like, if it's like Prometheus, you know, where it's like it's a pretty planet, you know, or a moon, but it's got silicon storms and xenomorphs and stuff, I'm good. I'm gonna stay on Earth. And even then, like if you're living in a space station or even on Mars, if it hasn't been terraformed, right? Yeah. Like space is harsh.
Yeah.
Like you got radiation to deal with. You've got flying projectiles. You got to figure out how to deal with water, let alone like waste material, food. Like, have you ever seen that movie with Matt Damon, Martian?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is dope, and he's just having a hell of a time just trying to survive by himself.
Grow potatoes.
Yeah. Imagine if it's like half the world population.
Yeah.
You know?
I gotta say that kind of surprises me a little bit. I kind of expected you two to be like, yeah, I'm all for space. You guys are all spacey all the time. So.
No, space is dope. Like, you know,
but you just want to come home.
You know, yeah, just like, you know, kind of looking at life like, you know, I'm a spirit controlling a meat mech, and my energy is still going to move throughout the cosmos and whatnot.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe I'll have an incarnation in the future where I will be able to traverse for millennia across space and you know, be able to enjoy that and absorb that as like a different life form. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like as a human, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay on Earth.
Yeah. I think I'd also choose Earth. I'm already an earthy boy, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but I think space exploration is dope, and I think it's a necessity.
Yeah, I do.
You know, to perpetuate the species. It's just
exciting
one
too.
Of those things. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, absolutely. But you know, being in my mid 40s, if I was in my 20s, okay, yeah, sign me up. You know, like let's do this. You know, but in my 40s, it's like I don't know, man. I like Earth.
Yeah,
you know, it's cool.
All right. Well, I think this is about the end of the show for us. Join us next week. Oh, shoot. What's next week's episode? Give me 1 second. I bet I can find it.
Oh, all of a sudden.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Did you see it in the store, the slow jam? The multiplayer emote? We can dance together.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Check us out next week as we talk about, gosh, I already forgot it. As we talk about new and crazy happenings that are currently happening around the world. So
I wonder if there's a finger banging
or a finger banging talk
emote.
All right,
a finger banger emote.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
All right. Well, goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
You still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
All right, cool.